It's been a while. Has it been a while?
Yes, it feels like it.
A couple weeks.
We've been on the road.
We've been on the road.
We've been on the road a lot
for about a month or so, or maybe longer. Somebody's calling you.
Yes, how about that? Somebody's texting me to let me know that I'm going live.
Somebody doesn't know you're live. Do you know how to travel? Probably not.
You know, we've done it so much, especially in the last 3 months. We have been almost nonstop travel. Is that just about right? I think we were home for maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks.
In the month of August, we had a record of staying in 9 hotels.
We weren't trying to make the record.
We were not. Just how
kind of happened that way.
It worked out that way.
We did plan some trips in advance, and there were some unplanned. But yeah. So we thought, well, it's still fresh in our minds, that we should come back and tell you guys what we've learned about traveling. And we travel all the time. We travel a lot anyway, but we picked up some things that I think a lot of people don't know. And we just thought we'd share them with you. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good. Why don't you start?
So I'll start. Obviously, when you plan a trip, you know where you're going. We recommend doing a little bit of pre-planning. So tip number 1 is research the location. What is there to do? What are the sites to see? What are kind of everybody does this. You can't go to that city unless you go check out this, this, and this. So just know what there is to do, but also... Yeah, go ahead.
Something we have done that I've never had to do before. We're calling the hotel in advance and find out if all the restaurants are open and if they are open every day of our stay or every day of the week.
Things have changed a little bit since COVID shut down, and not every restaurant is open every single night. And sometimes their websites aren't as updated.
You can't trust the website for what's open and what's not open.
So you're probably better off. So this is some of the research that we do in advance. We check out what's at a location. We check out what is going on. Are there things happening in the calendars? So some massive, huge citywide convention that's taking over the city. We need to know that if we're going to have dinner or try to have dinner. If there's zero going on, that's another good thing to know in terms of where am I going to have dinner?
How about if it's just a normal day? So we were just in Nashville, and there was this breakfast place, and it was rated very highly. It was Thursday at 10:15 in the morning.
We thought we were sort of clear, the weekend traffic hasn't come in yet. We'll be fine.
Hour and a half wait for breakfast.
No.
Needless to say, we did not eat breakfast there. I don't wait for hardly anything. The next day, we got there at 9 a.m. They were an hour behind us, so we were sort of East Coast time still.
Right.
And it was still an hour and 15-minute wait, but luckily we got to sit at the bar, and then we learned it from the bar, all the hot spots. So that's another tip.
Right. So we always sit at the bar when we can, and that's almost every time, right? So we usually start quizzing the bartender, hey, where do you go when you get off work? Where do you suggest for dinner? What have you heard? And the beautiful thing about bartenders, they hear everything. They experience the city that they live in, and they experience the city through the patrons that they have. So bartenders are awesome to have as information folks. But yeah, we ended up seeing Roger Waters in Nashville, which we were not expecting to do. And that was just a total plus, right?
Yeah. Right.
Total plus.
Yeah. Take it.
Yeah. Go. What?
Move sideways just a little bit.
This way?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Now I'm not covering half your body.
I would. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
No, and that way, if our video editor wants to signal you out.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, that nice.
Isn't that nice? So the next one is for Gus.
What's the next one?
Use your rewards.
Your rewards program. So we use Southwest Airlines a lot. We use their credit card a lot. From that, I've gained. Ashley has gained Companion Pass, and for a period of time, I flew free. So the cost of traveling someplace was just the cost of one airfare, which works out really, really well. Those points also add up for other things. We buy computers with them. We buy rental cars with them. The rental car companies themselves join the clubs, join every one of those. Even if you're going to use it one time, you just never know. You pop onto their website before you travel, and they might have a deal for the rewards members. And it happens often. right now for rental car companies, Hertz is my favorite. Most locations, you're renting in a class. I think we're in the President's or Elite Club, and they just go out and say, pick a car.
And it doesn't cost.
Pick a car.
I think it doesn't cost us anything to join those clubs. So
No.
again, check these types of things before, enough before your trip, so you can say, hey, if we need to rent a car, instead of just going to one company, you can compare. You can check out what's available, but you can also get a sense of the what kind of points and what kind of upgrades you may be privy to in advance. So definitely do that. Also recommend, if you don't have them already handy on your mobile phone, apps that you may use, any of your travel programs, any of your member programs. If you're getting points for the hotel where you're staying, if you're getting points for the airline that you're staying at, you want to have all of that preloaded onto your phone. Use your phone as the tool that it is to make sure that you have these things set up. It makes your life so much easier than when you're on the road and you're like, oh, I know I'm a member, but I can't remember my number. And then you're asking them to look up 12 different email addresses. It's just not so much fun.
Let's talk about the phone real quick, because Ashley and I were discussing this.
Some other things you can do with your
phone. The phone is so
phone.
important in traveling these days. You get your boarding passes on your phone, and we did it both every airline we've used in the last couple of years, including Lufthansa over in Germany. Your boarding passes are on your phone. Here's a pro tip, though. Snap a picture, do a screenshot, because you don't want your internet going down when you need to pull up your boarding pass. You're going to be in all kinds of trouble if that happens and you're standing in line.
Exactly.
But do a screenshot of that. And also, the phone, if you have the app, Southwest app or United American Airlines,
yes,
they'll keep you alert of.
They will let you know what is happening, probably faster than the folks at the gate. And
what's going on right now? And this is we're really good at this. So they cancel a flight, and this has happened in the last 2 years a couple times to us. They cancel a flight. You have the app on the phone. You just start hammering away. Find that next flight. Get yourself rescheduled
straight away.
It actually happened to someone we know today. They missed a flight and they had to reschedule a flight, and were able to do it quickly. Before you travel, this is all before your trip. We'll call this day of trip. This is a really good tip that Ashley reminded me of. Take a picture of where your car is if you're parking at one of the airports. If you're parking at the airport or the parking lot of the airport.
I always think, I'll know, I'll remember. And then even if it's 3 days, I come back, I'm like, I think it was on the fourth floor. 2, 3, that's all 4. Maybe did we put if I used to park only on the roof, because then I always remembered where I parked. Then I got snowed in once. Never doing that again. Okay, granted, it was in the wintertime in Philadelphia, but nobody was exactly there to dig me out. So I've
done something at the airport parking garage very few people have done.
You had to change a tire.
No, I parked a car that was in an accident.
Yeah, well, because and then when we got back, he had to change the tire.
I smashed into a curb on the way into the airport.
Like, that'll be fun to do when we get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's gonna be freezing cold.
The car was in pretty bad shape. I had to drag it into the parking garage and worry about 10 days later. So
anyway,
it was fine.
Take a photo of where you parked the car. Also take a photo, if it's not right and prevalent where your car is, of the floor that you parked on, so that you can remember when you come back. You just scroll through your phone. Oh, that's right. So we parked on the 3rd floor. Great. Yes. And it was in this section. Super. I remember it now. Take a picture of that. We recommend also taking a picture of the baggage labels that are on your bag once you've got them checked. If you're checking your luggage, just take a picture of that. You may need it in case your luggage doesn't arrive when you do.
Or if you arrive at the hotel and you have to check your luggage because you're there early, or you're checking out before you get to leave.
Valet tickets, exactly.
It just happened to me.
Valet tickets, check bag tickets. We just recommend take photos of that. Not to like. This is kind of funny. I think it's funny, but I think it's funny when I do it, but then I'm so glad I did. I take a photo of the guest room door, so I have the number when we leave, because sometimes we are hotel after hotel after hotel, and I'm like, I don't even remember what floor we were on.
I don't even know if I told you this.
Oh.
At the hotel we stayed at in Nashville, I went out to get ice, and we were on an even, we were on odd floor, and only even floors had ice machines.
Which of course they don't exactly tell you in advance. You had to go searching for it. So
we were on the 19th. We were on the 19th floor.
So
we were on the 19th floor, and I went down to the 18th floor to get ice. And I had previously gone up to the 20th floor to get ice. So I got back on the elevator to get ice, and I ran up to the 20th floor. And I was sticking my key in the door, and it wasn't opening. And then I realized there were people on the other side of the door, and then they opened up, and they're just like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Ha." Whether people can hear you, but run floor below you. So, yeah, it's a little awkward. I was trying to get
take a photo of things just to make sure. I mean, this isn't for posterity. It's to make sure, because let's face it, you're in a different city. You got a lot going on. You're not going to always remember.
Again, last month we were in 9 hotel.
Exactly.
And they
so take a picture and you'll have it there.
I'm not going to say they all look alike, but they all are similar after a while.
They all look alike. So it's all good.
The next one's a big one for you.
For me?
Yeah, because you always do this, and I don't. And I've been burned.
Interesting. It's not always so critical. So this is another before you leave for your trip tip, is to alert your bank or credit card company of your travel plans. A lot of times when I log into my bank, my credit cards, they'll have a place where you can put it. It's called the travel plan. And it's just to let them know, like, yeah, I'm going to be out of state for a couple of days. I'll be using my credit card when I'm in California, flying through Georgia, so that they know, so I don't get fraud alerts anything. Yeah,
they'll fraud alert you immediately.
Yeah. Depending.
And on that same note, make sure if you're traveling to a foreign country, get a couple bucks of the currency. We made this mistake just on our trip to Germany back in May.
Right.
We got there on a Sunday.
We should have gone to an ATM immediately.
There wasn't any open, though.
Well, no, there were ATMs. We just thought, oh no, we'll wait till we get into the city.
They didn't take credit cards at most restaurants in Germany, and no banks were open on Sundays.
So we paid a lot for our lunch on Sunday.
Yeah, and it took us a while to find a place that had credit cards. And then one of the craziest things that happened in Germany, there was a day we were there that the credit card machines did not process in the entire country. Right. The entire country was shut down. You couldn't use a credit card. I saw somebody pay 4,400 euros for their hotel stay. I was just in cash. I was just like, that's pretty crazy.
Fun times.
Yeah,
anyway. That was crazy. So anyway, yes, get some cash. If you can get it in advance, great. If you can't, just go to the nearest ATM. You know you're going to eat whatever that nasty fee is, but you'll have a few bucks and you'll be able to get along. This was one that Gus put down, was know the local laws.
Big time. And we have our...
To what are you referring, dear?
Well...
it's just good to know.
It's just good to know. I mean, marijuana has become legal in many parts of the U.S. It's not legal,
but not at all.
And not all. It's not legal in all states now. They're not out to get you. They're not out. They're not looking for it.
But don't give them the opportunity.
Yeah, don't give them an opportunity if you get stopped
also,
in a
open carry laws. There's also
it is a big one.
It is a big one.
You're not allowed to drink your own alcohol on an airplane.
Oh, that's a really good tip, and we didn't write it down. It's a relatively new federal law.
No, 5 years old, but
so you can drink. So if you're ordering a drink from the flight attendant and you're drinking it on the plane, that's fine. But you cannot bring alcohol of your own onto a plane and consume it. Then you will get in trouble. And usually
it's a massive fine.
It's pretty big. Usually the flight attendants will kind of like, hey, put that away. They're not trying to be ridiculous. They're trying to keep you from having this nasty fine. So just listen.
And they don't want to go to court. They don't want to have to prosecute you into that.
Thing I had for before your trip, check the weather. I personally find air travel to be very cold, unless it's not. But I prepare. I throw a hoodie and a scarf in with my luggage, my carry-on luggage, so I have it handy in case it's cold on the plane. I can just throw it on.
And on the opposite side of that, I like to travel in long pants and closed-toe shoes. I don't really wear sandals anyway, but
I do that.
I'll pack clothes. If we're going to San Diego soon, I'll have if we're going to get there in the morning, I'll have shorts and something packed in my carry-on so we can get changed.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be hotter there. It's gonna be hotter there, and it's gonna be
Usually when we fly to Fort Lauderdale, I'll put our swimsuits in kind of the outside flap of my swimsuit, or I'm sorry, of my luggage, so that way if we get there and our room's not ready, we can just change in the bathroom real quick and then head to the pool.
Yeah.
So, or the beach. So it's a nice way to extend your vacation a little bit. We talk a little bit about packing. Some of the, just make sure you have, and I am absolutely somebody who has violated this rule. Make sure you have all of your power cords for your phones, your those backup battery packs.
It's gonna have a long flight.
You're not really sure, even if it's supposed to be a short flight, you might get delayed. You might have something happen where you can't plug in while you're on the plane. Southwest is about to add AC power to their planes, but they haven't done that yet.
I've seen very few of those ACs work though on flights.
There's that as well. So you just want to make sure that and carry some backup. Bring a book. Bring bring a book. Bring a magazine. Bring a couple of magazines. You don't know what might be happening on the ground that may have your flight take twice as long as it's scheduled to be. So just bring some material with you just in case.
I always
Get
bring
ready to
my
take a nice nap.
carry on. I bring the laptop. I bring the iPad. I bring my phone.
You're hopped up on entertainment.
It's not unusual to have a 4 to 8 hour layover at some place.
It can happen.
And the 4 to 8 hour layover, especially if a late flight, you can guarantee the late flight is going to be delayed.
Yeah, because they're waiting for other people to come in, and if it's the last flight out, it's the one that anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's just one. No matter how short your flight is supposed to be, carry all of that stuff with you and have it in your carry-on. Don't check it. You mentioned number 2, use packing cubes. Tell us more about that.
I love packing cubes.
What is a packing cube?
So there's a little like nylon bags or plastic bags that you roll your clothes up and put them into, and then I just sort of live out of them to get to the hotel. Yeah. One of the things that Ashley's really good at, and she's taught me to do this, when you get to the hotel, as soon as you get to the hotel, empty your suitcases. Boom, put everything in there, especially if you're staying for one night, maybe not, but if you're staying for 2 or 3 days or a week.
I unpack everything
as
soon as I get there, because
spend 10 minutes unpacking.
If I don't, and I've done this before, this is why I've learned from experience. If I don't unpack everything, I forget that I packed it at all. And so I'll run around saying, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't pack toothpaste. And then I'll run out and find the nearest Walgreens or CVS and get toothpaste.
Yeah.
And then when I pull my bag out again to pack up to go home, I'm like, okay, why didn't I take out my toothpaste? Like, what was I thinking? So just take it all out. Another thing that I do with my packing, since I don't really like to iron anything, I will if I have to, but I try to keep my clothes from getting wrinkly. So I use I save the plastic bags from my dry cleaner, and no matter what the item is, whether it's dry cleanable or not, I will individually take the skinny wire hanger and I will put those bags over, and they keep everything nice and snug, but they also keep them moving just enough that they don't get wrinkled.
They don't get wrinkled.
So that's a
big tip. What else we got here?
Make sure you pack your necessities, like your toothbrush, your medications, electronics. Keep them in your carry-on bag. We've had it happen, about 4 months ago, where our bags didn't show up to our destination. So we landed
at 9. Our bags got there 12 hours later. They had a little detour.
Oops. So it was, oh gosh, if I had known that my bags weren't going to show up, I would have made sure that I had my bikini with me, that I had my toothbrush with me, that I had. So just think about it in advance. Of course, it's not supposed to happen that way.
Here's a pro tip.
Yes.
The airlines have to compensate you if your bags don't or will arrive at the same time. And they can compensate you up to $3,200 per passenger. Now, getting them to do that versus them doing it are two different things, but they can do that. And we experienced that recently.
We did, and we didn't spend that much money, but they did reimburse us for the things that we purchased, and they kind of pre-approved us and said, hey, look, we get it. We're sorry we screwed up. Go to the mall, get yourself a swimsuit, get yourself some shorts, get whatever you need, because we had packed sort of cold weather stuff. And then when we got there, we're like, I don't want to walk around, Miami at the beginning of May where it's really hot out in jeans. And yeah, we were both.
I was not happy that day.
Neither, yeah, we were having problems. But anyway, that leads us to tips during the trip, which are be flexible. Stuff's not always going to go exactly the way it was scheduled.
I guarantee it's not going to go the way it's scheduled, especially today.
So just relax, be nice. No one's trying to sabotage your trip, but the more relaxed and patient and flexible that you can be, the better time you're going to have, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I guarantee you're going to travel someplace. The museum's not going to be open. The store's not going to be open. The restaurant's not going to be open. The road in front of your hotel is going to be closed. The pool is not going to, we just witnessed that. It wasn't our hotel, but a very big resort in South Florida, known for their pool.
We didn't know in advance that the pool wasn't going to be open.
The pool was closed, and the people who were staying there were not too happy.
They were kind of teased.
They thought that they should have been told in advance. And you can call the hotel.
Honestly, they should have, but
is everything working?
Just check. They're cool. People at hotels know right now. And be patient with them. They are understaffed. They are probably working double shifts. They're doing the best they can. And if you are nice, they will be nice to you. If you are mean, they will ignore you because they don't need mean in their life, nor does anybody.
Here's one of the things I like.
Yeah.
Well,
what? I was going to, yes.
What are we going to say? About tipping?
Yes, exactly. We're going to talk about our next tip, tipping.
Yes, tip people, even as $1. We usually tip $1 a bag for the staff bringing bags out of the car, putting them into our room.
Curbside check-in, valet, bellhop, the shuttle driver, your servers, your bartenders. This is how they make
somebody bringing something up to your room.
Yeah, which I do a lot.
And here's another tip.
I need more towels. Yeah. I need more hangers.
I'm not a big fan of asking a concierge where to go to eat and what to do. I'm a big fan of.
You ask the bartenders.
I ask the bartenders.
Yeah.
I ask the wait staff. I ask the front desk. I ask the valet. Hey, where do you go to eat? What's your favorite place?
What's open late? We're a late diner. So one of our things is, where do you go when your shift's over?
So when we were we were in Fort Worth, Texas, we were going to go to this place to eat, and then we didn't go there. We drove up and we decided it didn't fit what we wanted to eat that day. And then we actually found this hole in the wall Mexican place. So it was so good. It was
highly rated.
It was like,
that's one of those that's going to be a really good hole in the wall.
We're from Philly. Everybody, that's not from here. Oh, Philly cheesesteak, Pat's, Geno's, whatever, Jim Steaks.
No offense to them.
They're good. They're good sandwiches. But the reality is, the corner pizza shop,
the hole in the wall,
has the best cheesesteak, and they're all good. And it's similar to New York with the pizza, and Chicago with the deep dish pizza.
Although, truth be known, we like Tony Luke's.
I like Tony Luke's is my favorite. If you're going to a name brands place, Tony Luke's is my favorite. My fan. What's that?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So anyway.
And then the other piece, we mentioned be polite, but that was part of kind of what we talked about before. Number 6 is be aware of your surroundings at all times. You're a target. As someone who's traveling, you're out of your comfort zone. You're somewhere you don't know.
You don't know the neighborhood.
You don't know the neighborhood. You don't know what's going on. It could be perfectly safe. It could be perfectly not. But don't become a statistic. Pay attention. Note who's around you. If you're uncomfortable, I know just about every major hotel in Philly. If you go, let's say 4 blocks in the wrong direction, you could be in trouble. And that's if you're there, just pay attention. Don't wear expensive jewelry. If you don't wear your expensive watches, just be aware. Keep your eyes. Don't look like tourists. I hate to say that. No, look, we're all here. We probably look like
walking around with Mickey Mouse eaters on.
It's especially embarrassing when you're not at Disney. But anyway.
Well.
And then after your trip, just a couple of tips. I usually, if somebody went above and beyond in terms of service, in terms of, gosh, we meet people who sit on the plane next to us and we end up having conversations, trading business cards, and then connecting with them on LinkedIn or if there's a business opportunity. So we are connectors. We love to connect with people. So I just try to do a quick follow-up, make sure I just get back in touch or find some way to connect ongoingly with those folks. If someone at a hotel or at the car rental or somewhere in our whole service process went above and beyond and was just a terrific service for us, I generally go onto the website and just say, hey, Kristen in Albuquerque really rocked, she was terrific, had a great attitude.
Yes. The other thing we use a company called Sugar Wish. We'll ask the person for their email address. I'm like, you want my email address?
Yes. Really, and then we send them a Sugar Wish.
We send them a Sugar Wish.
Which is a cute little thank you snack. And actually Sugar Wish has added a ton to its products. So there's a recommended service for you.
There's a number of companies that are doing that, but it's just
a nice way to say thank you.
Yeah, it really is. And what else?
That's all I had.
I mean, that's crazy.
We just scratched the surface.
We just scratched the surface. We're gonna start. We'll do another segment later about how to get. I hate to say upgrade, but how to get more out of your hotel stay.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of I hate to say tricks, and you need to know
strategy,
the parameters. You need to know the parameters of what's going on in the hotel at the time you're doing it, whether it's full or not. And there's ways to get upgrades. There's ways to get special service. You might just say, hey, what can you do for me? Is there anything you feel like I should experience?
Yeah.
How can you hook us up?
And the nicer you are, and if they have it available, they make them want to help you. So we can talk more about that on some other one, but we hope that our tips and tricks for travel have been helpful. I know the conference season is back on and people are headed out to go to conventions and stuff. We actually have one we're hosting in 2 weeks. So we hope that this has been helpful for you. Thanks for joining us.
And we will see you Thursday night.